Hello and welcome to a tutorial which may temporarily do your head in, but it will give you some pretty amazing funk chops if you're brave enough to give it a go. Recently I've been filming the new videos for my iPhone app Drum Secrets 2, and this is something that I wanted to include, but there just simply wasn't enough space to fit it in. Here it is now anyway. Drum Secrets 2 is a series of video tutorials, got MP3s and PDFs as well, and it concentrates on 16th note grooves. But it's much more than that. It's a self-tuition toolkit, if you like, to learn some frighteningly funky stuff and to develop your own personal style on the instrument as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Kind of exciting stuff. So, whilst I was filming these tutorials for the iPhone app, I came up with some 16th note stickings for the hi-hat, and very funky they were too. But I just wondered what would happen if my sticking pattern was a polyrhythm. Now, for a fleeting moment, I thought that there might be another app in there somewhere, perhaps masochism for drummers, perhaps. But anyway, I doubted that Apple would have allowed that. Nonetheless, I thought it would be worth exploring. There's probably a lot of mileage in that as an idea, and this is what I came up with. So, what's going on here then? Well, the sticking pattern is simply right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, repeated indefinitely. It's a 3-note sticking, so it doesn't fit very tidily into a bar of 16ths, I'm afraid. In fact, for you to wind up with the right hand back on beat 1 at the beginning of the bar again, you have to play 3 whole bars of this sticking before it resolves. Not only that, but the backbeat on the snare accent winds up in some funny places. Check it out. The first backbeat's pretty easy. It's on the first of the 2 left-hand notes. All you need to master with this one is to kill all the energy out of the stick for the second note, so the second note becomes like a ghost note of the first note. Just like that. In fact, I should say at this point that if it ain't a backbeat, all the snare notes should be really, really whisper quiet. That will make it sound really funky. The next backbeat lands on the right hand. Again, this is pretty easy because all you've got to do is move off the hi-hat and give the snare drum an almighty thwack with the right hand. Fairly easy. The only difficult thing about this particular one is just to remember to do the move. If you forget to do the move, either you'll get no backbeat or the sticking pattern will become corrupt, which isn't so good. Anyway, the third backbeat is the really interesting one. Here you need to accent the second note of the double stroke with the left hand. There. Now, there's a pretty good way to do this explained in Drum Secrets 1, but for now, suffice it to say that the first note that you play of that double needs to be an upstroke. If you get that movement right, you'll be in a good position to play a loud accent on the second note. So, upstroke, downstroke. So that's it, 3 backbeats played 3 different ways. Unfortunately, this means that you have to learn all your bass drum variations against 3 different sticking patterns. Ouch, sorry about that. But don't panic though. Even though this is a big ask, you can crack it if you use the right learning strategy, if you like. Anyone that knows the Drum Secret stuff will know that I'm much more passionate about learning how to learn rather than learning what to learn. Otherwise, it's like Gordon Ramsay giving you a bunch of ingredients but not telling you the recipe. You know, that'd be pretty useless, wouldn't it? You have to know the method as well, and this is no exception. This is how I suggest you go about learning this one. Firstly, the sticking pattern needs to be on autopilot. To do this, don't be over ambitious, just give me a bass drum on 1 and 3. Now, keep doing this until your mind is free to wander off and think about something completely different. The more automatic this becomes, the more you'll be able to relax as you play. If you can recite nursery rhymes whilst you're playing this, then you probably know it well enough to proceed. Now, wouldn't it be lovely to be able to play any bass drum pattern that you wanted? Well, I haven't got time to run through all of them here, but the method's all there for you in Drum Secrets 2, so go and check that out. What I can show you now, though, is a really neat trick with this, which helps you to learn it really quickly and get into it kind of efficiently. So, if you can play the bass drum on beats 1 and 3 now, that's actually a really good safety net to fall back on. If we get a little bit more ambitious and put the bass drum on all the right hand notes, we'll get a very interesting sound. From a coordination point of view, it's not too difficult either, which is great. Have a listen. It's quite a strong flavoured sound, but it's worth being able to do. Here's what it sounds like. Now, you'll probably agree that that sounds a little bit too unsettling. However, if you do a little bit of that followed by a few of the downbeats on 1 and 3 that we did earlier, that will resolve all the rhythmic tension. And then you've got quite a nice routine to play about with. Here we go. Cool. Now, the next step is to work on some more specific patterns. Here are some very common bass drum patterns which really sound great with this particular sticking pattern. When you play each one of these in a continuous loop, you wind up having to learn 3 different variations because the sticking pattern changes every bar. Therefore, it's really important when you do these to make sure that you can loop them for at least 3 times around. I'll do the first one for you. Here we go. So there you have it. It's a really challenging routine, but you can learn so much if you just give it a go. You probably wouldn't want to play this as a blanket groove over a whole song, but the benefits of working on it are absolute gold dust, I promise you. What you'll find is little bits of this will start to permeate into your playing and it'll just open up your phrasing. It's great. Before you know it, you've become a drum god and you don't know how that happened. Fun. Okay, this approach ties in really well with the material coming up in Drum Secrets 2 in the new iPhone app. It'll be in the App Store very soon. Please sign up to the mailing list at drumsecrets.com so that I can let you know about the special deal on launch day. I'll also put a free PDF file up supporting the material that I've shown you here. So I hope you got something out of that. Happy drumming and bye for now.